Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Hayabusa 180-inch perfect stretch hand wraps. So check it out. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Hayabusa 180-inch perfect stretch hand wraps. I got mine in blue. If you go to the Hayabusa website, I believe they have 12 to 13 colors to choose from, and these retail for $15. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing a review on these particular hand wraps, well, quite frankly, I haven't done a hand wrap review, at least a traditional hand wrap review, in a while, and I never tried the Hayabusa hand wrap, so that's the reason why I decided to get these. I've usually always kind of gravitated to either ringside or Tidal when it came to my hand wraps, just because they're inexpensive, and for the most part, a lot of these regular hand wraps are pretty much very similar in terms of the length. Obviously is either 180 to 200 inches, the width, and the overall quality. Now, these particular hand wraps utilize at least what Hayabusa describes on their website as cotton as the main material, but I believe that there's also probably a small amount of polyester blended in with this cotton that gives it a little bit of a stretch. Now, they call it perfect stretch, and to what degree is considered perfect is really up to you, but comparing this to some of the other hand wraps I have, some hand wraps have more of a stretchy gauze-like feel and are softer. I believe I had a pair of ringside hand wraps that were more thinner and a little bit more of a stretchier type of material, like Leroy or standard gauze, where you can pull on it and it has a lot of stretch. These are not that. These are a little bit thicker and are a little bit more rigid feeling compared to the other stretchy type material. Not to say that these don't have any stretch to them. They do have stretch, but they're not the super stretchy type, if you guys know what I mean. So there is definitely some durability that's built into the hand wrap, which I can appreciate. The only drawback with it not being as stretchy as others is you don't get kind of the same, I guess, that same conform feel you do with the thinner material. So I mean, that can be a pro and a con, just depending on the feel that you like. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys my feedback on how I feel about these particular hand wraps in regards to the thickness in the material and the stretchiness of it. So again, mostly cotton. I would believe that there's some polyester that is inside this wrap. Again, it is 180 inches. You do have a thumb loop at the end. That's pretty standard for any kind of hand wrap. It does say this side up, so that when you wrap it, that stitch side is facing down. And then when you go to the Velcro side, a little, little details and attention to details when it comes to the quality with these that I do like is that Hayabusa does a really nice job. I've had issues with a lot of my hand wraps where this Velcro piece ends up ripping off the cotton, and so far it's so good. I would like to see maybe some double stitching inside there, but so far it's held up pretty well. I've had these for just a couple of weeks now. I've washed them. I use a mesh bag with a zipper when I wash my hand wraps, so it doesn't get tangled up. And then when I dry them, I make sure that I roll them up right away. That way they keep their shape. So I have that, and then the quality of the Velcro is really nice too. So the Velcro they use here, I don't know what the actual term for this type of Velcro is, but it grabs just like your traditional Velcro. It's not better, but it's not as scratchy like the type that kind of sticks out more. This has more of a flatter type Velcro. And again, I mean, craftsmanship when it comes to hand wraps are pretty much the same. You can see the stitching kind of pokes through. And then you have this grab tab that's kind of angled, that's made out of cloth that says Hayabusa. So, little attentions to detail, but everything else with the wrap is pretty standard at what you would find. Again, that's pretty much the amount of stretch that you have with it. So that's me pulling on it at max. So when it's relaxed, you're right about there. If you can see the distance of my hand, and if I stretch it, you're probably getting a total maybe like another inch if you pull on the hand wrap and you stretch it out. So just to kind of give you guys a reference in that regard. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap my hands up like I typically would. That way you guys can see the process of wrapping. This is just my own way of doing it. Typically, I guess I can turn this into a hand wrapping video at the same time. If I'm not using a gel or a knuckle guard or knuckle pad, if you want to call it. I usually make my own pad. I usually do like 3 wraps, just depending on how thick or how long the wrap is, and then I'll put that right there. And then I kind of use my thumb to hold it in place as I make that little knuckle pad. And then from there I go around to kind of keep that pad down. Go over the back of the hand again. Then I go down towards the wrist. Some people don't like to wrap the thumb. That's completely up to you. I do and I don't. Depends on the gloves I'm using. If I'm using gloves that are much more snug, especially the piping around the thumb, I won't wrap the thumb. I'm not really concerned with that because I just try to be safe with my punches with the correct form, so I don't end up doing any injuries to my thumb. But you can wrap it. It's completely up to you. And I go on the back of the hand. I do 3 wraps around the wrist. Then I go up to the pinky and kind of cut around. And now this is the point of the wrap that I actually start making a fist, because I want to feel the tension in between my fingers. And then I kind of go over my index finger in between that and my middle finger, back down, around again. And now I'm going to go up around the ring finger, up and over. Make sure I'm making a fist so it's nice and snug. Now I'm going around the ring finger total. Go back down around the wrist again, up and over this corner, around the knuckles again, just making a fist. The fist is more or less just so I can feel the tension of the wrap, and then I just finish it off. One thing you'll notice too is I wish that they accounted for the stretchiness of the wrap when you put the Velcro on. So what I find is when you get to that very last turn, a lot of people will lock it in, right? You guys want to really pull on it, that way your wrist feels nice and locked in. And then you put the Velcro around. What I find is that now, with it completely pulled and locked in, you have this extra lip. So they should account for that, in my opinion. You should put a little extra Velcro right here, lengthen it out. That way it sits flush and you don't have that little tab that sticks out. Now, granted, you're gonna have your gloves on for the most part, so that's not gonna be an issue because your gloves are gonna cover this. But again, I mean, we're talking about attention to detail. That is still a lip. If you're shadow boxing and whatnot, it just kind of sticks out, or you're doing other kind of workouts where you don't have your gloves on, so this can get caught on something. So just would be nice to have that a little extra Velcro piece right there. And the palm opens. So there you have it. I mean, hands feel comfortable. If you were to ask me, do I think it's worth the cost at $15? No. The only reason I say that is because you can get some ringside or title wraps for cheaper. You know, you can get some for like anywhere between like $8 to $10 to $12. So, you know, it's incrementally cheaper, but essentially the same kind of wrap. I think you're just kind of more or less paying for like a little bit better Velcro with these. I'm still more of a fan of the stretchier type gauze-like material than I am more of the cotton wrap that utilizes more cotton than it does like a polyester or a stretchable fabric. These are good wraps, don't get me wrong. I'm just, you know, there's so many others to choose from that these wouldn't be on the top of my list as far as hand wraps go, especially for $15. And then little details like the Velcro kind of sticking out like that when the, you know, the wrap is fully done, and then just kind of the rigidity of the wrap, because it's not as thin and pliable as the others, it kind of loosens up too. So once I start hitting the speed bag, I noticed that I start getting some slack developing in the wrap. So a solid hand wrap, not my first go-to choice. I mean, if you're really hung up on getting Hayabusa wraps, then I mean, $15 is not going to break the bank for most people, but I think it could be done better, especially like little features with the Velcro, and just making sure that maybe they reinforce the stitching on the Velcro itself, the little pad, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Hayabusa hand wraps. See you guys later. Take care.